Hello everyone, my name is Ajay Poddar. I am part of Informatica GCS team. As a part of today's presentation, we are going to see how to collect pod logs for troubleshooting CDI Advanced Mapping issues. As a part of today's presentation, we will be covering on this agenda how to collect pod log for troubleshooting CDI Advanced Mapping issue, followed by the demo. So these are the steps to collect the pod log. So as a first step, run the problematic mapping and ensure advanced cluster is up and running. Once the advanced cluster is up and running, set these two environment variable export kubeconfig and export path from the secure agent machine. Execute this kubectl get csr command, and once you execute this command, execute kubectl get pods -a command. This command will list all the pod which is currently running in Kubernetes cluster. Now once you get the pod name, execute this command kubectl describe pod or kubectl logs to fetch the logs for the particular pod. You need to just append the log name to this command, that is kubectl describe pod or kubectl logs, and redirect it to any file name or directory on the local system. Now let's see on demo how we can collect the pod log for CDI Advanced Mapping issue. Log into secure agent machine and set this environment variable, that is kubeconfig and path. So for setting the environment variable for kubeconfig, in this path you need to update the secure agent home directory and update the ATSQL server latest version and the cluster ID. So for getting the ATSQL server latest version, you can run a command ps-ef pipe grep ATSQL. So once you run this command, it will list the process ID, and here you will see the ATSQL server and the current version which is in the running state. So for me it is 46.0.3.1. Copy this version and substitute the value to this path. So I have already substituted the value for the ATSQL server. So now for getting the cluster ID, you can get it from the mapping log or the session log. Log into IDMC console and open the advanced mapping which is in the running state. So this is my advanced mapping which is in the running state. Also the advanced cluster is up and running as Infi Spark, it's in the running state. Download the session log and open the session execution log. So in the session execution log you will find the keyword cluster ID, and here you will see the cluster ID. So for me the cluster ID is 6ht ending with .local. Copy this cluster ID and substitute the cluster ID value to this path. So I have already substituted agent home latest version and the cluster ID. Copy this export command and run it on secure agent. Next will be the path environment variable. So here you need to update the secure agent home directory and the ATSQL server latest version. So I have already updated these two details, and this is my export command. Copy this and run it on secure agent. Now I have set the both the environment variable. Next step, you need to execute this kubectl get csr command. So there will be no change in this command. You need to execute the command as it is. Copy this command and run it from the secure agent. You can ignore this error message and move to the next step. So next step will be getting the list of the pod which is in the running state. So for that, execute the command kubectl get pods -a. Click on enter. So it will list the pod which is in the running state, and you can collect the log for each pod by running this kubectl describe pod name and redirect it to the file name, or you can collect it using kubectl logs space pod name and redirect it to the file name. So let's try to get the pod name to the local system. Now to get the log, run the kubectl logs, and then select the pod name for which you want to download the log. So I'm selecting the driver pod and redirect it to the file name driver log.txt. So this command is successfully executed, and this command has redirected the pod log to the local system, that is driver log.txt, vi driver log.txt. So now you will be able to see the entries of the driver log. So similarly you will be able to take the log for the rest of the pod as mentioned here, or in which is in the running state. So for getting the logs for the other pods, it will be the same command, cube logs space the pod name, and you can redirect it to the any file name. For more information on collecting the pod log, please refer this KB article. We'd love to hear from you. You can send us a mail to supportvideos@informatica.com or tweet us on https://twitter.com/infasupport. Thank you.